after 6 visits, 4 vlogs, multiple reviews, and tons of posts online, we hope you're not sick of us talking about Epic Universe yet.
Well, too bad if you are, because Epic Universe is now open to the public. Anyone can go off and buy a day ticket to attend Universal Orlando's newest theme park, probably the biggest theme park to open up in like the past 20 years. We have had the opportunity to experience it multiple times. We've done every single ride and attraction there, and today we'll be ranking them up for you so you can determine what are the must-dos for when you go to visit.
I will make it easy. Everything is a must-do, pretty much. I would try to do everything in this park. I want to start off by saying, if something is in last place at this park, it's not a bad ride. There's nothing here that is like inherently bad. Whereas you could go to Universal Studios. I can ride Fast and Furious and say, yeah, that sucked. There's nothing here like that that feels outdated, obviously because it's new. There's nothing that feels like total filler, stupid, why is this here? Everything makes sense for some reason.
Yeah, and each attraction is objectively well done in its class because we have a mix of family rides, dark rides, roller coasters, and so they each serve a purpose. So we have 13 attractions that we'll be ranking up for you all. And so we'll kick things off with our last place, and that goes to Dragon Racers Rally in the Isle of Berk. This is the Gerstlauer Skyfly, 2 of them to be exact.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's good that they have flats at this park, because I feel like there are some parks in Orlando that don't have enough, or any really for that
SeaWorld.
I wasn't going to say it, but I think it's good that they have this. That being said, capacity-wise, it's not amazing. It's better that they have 2 than 1, but to keep the capacity going and keep the line moving, they have a really, really short cycle.
And they put bumpers on it, so it's really hard to flip. Like, I've done a good amount of Skyflies out there, and they're already kind of difficult to flip, but they really made this one tricky. And so, even after trying it multiple times and being unsuccessful in flipping, it kind of left me going, you know, visually this ride is cool, but from a rider perspective, it definitely left a lot to be desired.
No, I will say, we have one friend that literally rode this like a jillion times to try to perfect how to flip this thing. And like, I'm talking, he's testing the wind conditions. He went hard, and he said he's figured it out, like how to flip this ride.
Congrats, you're the only one.
So maybe someday we can get him to share with all of you, but as of right now, we have not figured it out. At number 12, we have a ride that actually took us into our last visit to the park to actually get on. And there's a reason for it. That would be Fire Drill.
Yeah, this is actually in the same land, the Isle of Berk, so it's just down the pathway. This is the only water ride at Epic Universe.
That's why.
It's essentially a splash battle. And the reason why we were hesitant to get on it is because we heard that people came off this ride soaked. But it's because we didn't really understand how it worked. You see, this ride is essentially a challenge. It's a game. 2 sides are pitted against each other. You're seated back to back and you're shooting targets. And if you hit the blue ones, you're either going to get splashed or your opponents will get splashed. And so it's kind of luck of the draw, but basically the way it goes is one side gets drenched and then the other is not too bad. I came off pretty dry.
I did not. But I'm glad we did it. We waited until probably the hottest day that we went.
Yeah.
So all is well.
This is going to be a ride that will be popular on hot days. It's important that it's there, and visually, like, it's very fun. It adds a lot of kinetic energy to the land.
And at number 11, we have another ride that brings a lot of kinetic energy to its respective land, and that would be Yoshi's Adventure.
Yeah, this is a cute little omni-mover, so this truly is an attraction that anyone can enjoy. It is adorable. There's animatronics that you get really close to. I think the downfall of this ride is just that you are like baking in the sun on this thing, because there's just not a lot of airflow in this land, and in Orlando, Florida, shade is essential.
It's your friend.
And there is a short little dark ride section, which is much appreciated. Don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy this attraction.
Oh, I love it. It's so fun.
I definitely have to be in a mood to do it. And I would also emphasize, if this ride has a really long line, this is probably one that you could put as a lower priority. It just depends on how busy it is. If it's a walk-on, absolutely you should do it.
At number 10, we have our first roller coaster of the list. That would be Curse of the Werewolf.
Yeah, and this really is the weakest roller coaster at Epic Universe. The ride experience is fine for what it is. It's a mock ride spinning coaster. Very family friendly. It's over in the Dark Universe section of the park. I think the big downfall here is that it is, without a doubt, the ugliest thing in the park.
But I'd also argue that, like, from like a coaster standpoint, like, it's fine. But from a story perspective, it kind of just feels shoehorned in there. Like, sure, here, just go for it. Like, I don't really get it. Like, it doesn't really make sense. I'm like, okay, We end up in like this swing launch in like a shed. There's like a figure of a werewolf in there, and like you pass by him really quickly and you're going back and forth. But like, why are we going back and forth?
To extend the ride time, because there's not much track length.
And like, I haven't had like a proper like spinning ride. Like I've had like rotating, but like not like I want to spin. Like,
And we've done it a good amount of times.
and we literally weighed the members of the group to like be like, okay, like who weighs the most? Let's put the two heaviest people in the two lights.
On this side, so it will spin more, and it still just didn't
not
quite
having
get
the
there.
luck,
So
no.
there's very few attractions here that I would consider disappointing. But I would say maybe alongside Dragon Racers Rally, this is the other one. But you know, it's still a roller coaster. It's still fun. Kids will like it.
But get rid of that mannequin at the end. What is that? That's scary.
Yeah,
It's
that
weird.
one's not too good. Number 9. This is a great one. Constellation Carousel.
You move this to specifically nighttime, this moves up even higher because this is like the coolest carousel ever. It is the coolest carousel ever.
Yes, it is a visual spectacle. This thing is absolutely stunning. Each of the ride vehicles are so beautifully done, and at night, each of them have these little stars that glow up. So it truly is like they're different constellations, and they all move in sync with each other. It's like a dance.
It's like waltzing with everybody.
I want to say there's 6 different songs to go along with this ride, so it's also repeatable. That it's like, you don't know which one you're gonna get, and the nighttime setting for it is even cooler than during the day.
At number 8, we have our second roller coaster of the list, and that would be Donkey Kong Minecart Madness.
Yeah, this ride has been kind of love-hate depending on what your preferences are. From a story perspective and thematically, it's very well done. It's
cool.
the anchor of Donkey Kong Country in Super Nintendo World, but it does have a couple downsides. It is a very short ride, and if you're sensitive to roughness, this is not a smooth coaster by any means.
So we actually had a really cool experience. So we got to ride it like solo.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Go
And
watch
like,
our opening day video.
yeah, so that was interesting. It is way more aggressively rough when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, I don't know how you'd ever get the chance to do that again, but if you do, try it.
Yeah, it also, I think one of the big downsides with Donkey Kong is that it has just such a long line because it is a lower capacity ride, high demand. Oftentimes, it doesn't end up being worth the wait that it gets.
But if you can get on it, like, you absolutely should. Just because it's at number 8, again, like, there's nothing on this list that I'm like, skip that. It sucks.
Yeah,
Like, ride this ride. It's awesome.
it's still fun.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. The ride system is very unique.
That's saying something, though, that a ride that is this unique and this cool is, like, somewhere in the middle of the list.
Yeah.
You know, that just says, like, how many amazing rides and shows are here. Which brings us to number 7, which is a show, which is called Leer Aru.
Yeah, this is the only show in the Ministry of Magic section at Epic Universe, so it's one of 2 attractions in the land, and we pretty much knew nothing about this show going in, and our expectations were exceeded. Unfortunately, we don't have any footage during the show.
No, that's good. You don't want to know anything.
That is true.
The less you know, the better. I don't even want to say anything else. Just trust us. You should go see it.
The technology that they use for this is wildly impressive. They did things I've never seen done before. And speaking of creative use of technology, our number 6 attraction is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge in Super Nintendo World. So this is one of the 3 dark rides in the park, and this uses augmented reality that blends with the practical sets. So it is sensory overload, to say the least.
Yeah, so funny enough, I feel like this ride has gotten a lot of hate. Like, I've heard people say that they think it's, like, really disappointing and whatnot, but, like, I feel like because we've done it a lot of times, we got the chance to do it in Hollywood, we got the chance to do it in Japan as well, before it opened up here, and I feel like the more you ride it, and you, like, understand how the game works, you really grow to love it. And that being said, I will ride it happily without the augmented reality and just appreciate the dark ride, like, portions of it. Like, it's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the amount of practical effects in this ride is really, really impressive. And the augmented reality is cool, but if you find that you are easily overwhelmed or partway through the ride you're saying, I'm not really digging this, it is okay to take off your augmented reality visor and just enjoy the practical sets for what they do. I actually do that every once in a while. You know?
Yeah, but put them back on for Rainbow Road.
Oh, the Rainbow Road sequence is unbelievable. That is the coolest effect. I don't know how they pulled that off, but it is
awesome.
Sensational.
Absolutely. Next on the list is the second show at the park. It is the Untrainable Dragon in Isle of Berg.
And how good does a show have to be to make our top 5 attractions attractions in the park.
Really good.
Yeah, this show like blew our minds. It first debuted at Universal Studios Beijing, and they brought it over here to the Isle of Berk, and they just blew us away. The costuming is amazing. The puppetry with the different dragons. There are animatronics in the show, including Toothless flying over you, which is one of the most unbelievable things I have ever seen. Like,
I got so emotional.
Yeah.
I was just like, look how cute he is.
it was
Oh my gosh.
so freaking cool. Props to them for just like nailing the mannerisms and like vocally how these characters act. Like, it is so freaking impressive. This is a must-do show when you're at Epic Universe. And we got one more attraction to cover in the Isle of Berk, because the Isle of Berk is stacked. They got a lot to do there. And this is their big signature roller coaster, Hiccups Wing Gliders.
So this is an intimate multi-launch coaster. It is so freaking cute. I would say it's more tame than Hagrid's, which, you know, another family coaster at a Universal Park. But that being said, it's in no way like a kid's coaster.
Yeah.
Like, everyone will like this ride.
Yeah, and you'll want to do it multiple times because you'll pick up on little details, because there are animatronics during the ride. There's even a show scene partway through, and it has some nice like twists and turns. It's not really an airtime coaster, but it doesn't really need to be. They got another attraction next door for that. So I love just like the sight lines, how it works in with the land itself. Is weaving,
So scenic.
Yeah, weaving through the grandstands of Dragon Racers Rally. It is awesome. In particular, the beginning with like the launch scene with Hiccup and Toothless, great.
Again, Toothless, so cute.
Very, very cute.
So you have him there. You have the meet and greet.
Yep.
Which, if that was on the list, I feel like that should be really high up there.
We didn't include meet and greets or
a
costume
lot of
character walk-arounds, because that adds a whole other layer. And how do you really judge which character is better than the other?
Toothless.
Like, all right, maybe Toothless would be
And the
better.
actor who plays Hiccup, like, literally sounds exactly like
Dude,
him.
he's so good. He's like going viral on TikTok. He's that good.
He's amazing. All right, let's do number 3.
Monsters Unchained, The Frankenstein Experiment.
Oh, baby. That's a good ride.
This thing is great. I've seen a lot of people say this is their favorite ride in the park, and frankly, I get it. I get it.
Frankensteinly, I get it.
Frankensteinly, yeah, we'll admit. So this is a Kuka Arm dark ride in the style of Forbidden Journey, but it does things in a way that makes it stand on its own from Forbidden Journey. I'm not just talking thematically. They actually use a completely new loading system. They got rid of the domed screens from Forbidden Journey, so most things are practical. There are some screens, but they're like really high-def screens.
Yeah, and I will say, like, my favorite parts of the ride are the parts that don't have screens. I think the animatronics are crazy and the sets are crazy.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of screens, though. I would say not as much as some other Universal rides, but, like, I just wish there's, like, a little less and, like, more...
That's fair.
More real stuff. But it's still, like, it's one of the greatest dark rides. You know, Universal likes to take ride systems and kind of put them in, like, multiple of their parks. Like, think Transformers, Spider-Man, or Kong, Fast and Furious. This is an instance where, even though it's using the same ride system, it doesn't feel at all like the same ride.
Yeah. They really just, like, blew me away with this attraction. It's so atmospheric. The vibe is amazing. There are 2 pre-shows. I absolutely loved both of them. They just, like, killed it with some, like, really impressive animatronics, great storytelling, awesome characters. Yeah, this is one that you want to do multiple times.
My biggest complaint about this ride was, like, the marketing campaign was about how it was going to be, like, the scariest ride at Universal, but, like, I don't think it's, like, scary, and I'm saying this mainly because I think that there have been some people that have been deterred from riding it because, like, maybe they get scared easily or, like, they have kids, but I don't think it's so scary that you can't bring, like, your family on.
I think that's also important for expectations, because I've also seen some people disappointed that it wasn't scary, or they were expecting it to be, like, HHN, the ride, and
Which would be cool.
It's not. It is, the vibes are amazing, but it's not like jump scares.
No, but it's, like I said, absolutely amazing. Any complaint that I have or criticism is, like, minor compared to how much praise it deserves. It's amazing.
Yes, and speaking of rides deserving a lot of praise, Stardust Racers, the Mock Rides racing coaster in Celestial Park, is unbelievable. Wow.
Guys, oh my gosh. So already Universal had a stacked lineup. Orlando had a stacked lineup.
Yeah.
They go ahead and drop this baby down like 10 minutes from our house. I'm like, are you joking?
This is the most airtime on any roller coaster in Orlando. 2 separate tracks, and the way that they just wove them together it's like nothing that you've ever seen or experienced before. No other dueling or racing coaster comes close to being as strong of an attraction as Stardust Racers.
Oh yeah, like this is like the gold standard of like if you want to have a racing or dueling coaster, look at Stardust for inspiration because oh my gosh.
Every single element on this ride hits, and half the time you're not even paying attention to what's ahead of you because you're watching the other train. If you're able to sync it up where you have like a friend on one side and you're on the other, you feel like you could like reach out and lock arms with them. You get that close.
I have to give props to Universal for having, like, I'm not like much of an inversion girl. Like, I'm more like airtimey, which this ride is very airtimey. Don't get me wrong. It only has one inversion, but that one inversion is like arguably the best in the world. And then you look over at Velocicoaster with Mosasaurus Roll, arguably the best inversion in the world. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about exceeding expectations. I knew this ride would be good, but I got off this thing for the first time going, that's something special. Yeah. Props to Mock Rides and Universal. I'm so glad this ride exists.
And now we're going to talk about our number one attraction at Epic Universe. I feel like this shouldn't be a huge surprise because if you've seen any of the videos of our reactions to our first time on this ride, we looked a little like this.
Yeah.
So that would be Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry.
Yeah, this is the big signature dark ride at Epic Universe. It is the most expensive ride ever built, and the way that they just seamlessly integrated practical effects using a ride vehicle that never existed before. So it's just the perfect use of technology and innovation. This is their Rise of the Resistance.
As far as scale goes, absolutely. Like there's literally one room that you enter and it's literally so ginormous and the animatronics legitimately look like they're live actors.
They're on the same level as the animatronics in Monsters. And there's even one in Battle of the Ministry that is huge. Probably one of the biggest animatronics ever built. It is so cool. Storytelling is phenomenal. I think this is probably the best Harry Potter ride ever built. It's the best queue in the world.
Hagrid's though?
Hagrid, it's different. It's different. I don't know.
That's hard.
I love them for different reasons, but man.
You know what? I have no issue if Universal wants to keep one-upping themselves because I don't care. Like you can keep, like I would love to argue about the best ride in Orlando because there's so many of them and that's great for us.
I don't know how you level up from this ride though. Like they literally did they put their heart and souls into this attraction and making it work. And I am just so blown away by this thing.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
If they wanted to one-up themselves, I want to see Universal's take on a trackless dark ride.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because I know obviously the ride vehicle movement wouldn't be as impressive, but I want to see just practical steps. Like give me something like Beauty and the Beast, right?
Yeah.
At Tokyo Disney, or like the Frozen boat ride. Like that impresses me more than a good blend of screen usage and practical sets, like when it's literally all real.
Yeah, okay.
Give me the most simple ride system in the world and blow me away with the sets. I want to see Universal do that. If they could do something like that, it would probably make my number one spot.
We also know that they've been entertaining the idea of creating a broomstick attraction for the Harry Potter universes, and obviously that was cut in the final product because you can see there is a blank space from the Ministry of Magic section where another ride would be and is obviously not there. So maybe one day we'll get some really cool innovative attraction that somehow puts you in the wizarding world of Harry Potter flying on a broom. I'd be very curious to see how they could pull that off.
Flight of Passage? But
Don't know.
Stay tuned.
So in conclusion, Epic Universe has an absolutely stacked ride lineup. We are just so impressed by all of these attractions. And this is opening day. It can only get better from here.
I keep pinching myself that this is a thing that's here to stay. It wasn't ooh, you had a cool experience and you'll never see it again. It's no, that's literally down the road. We hear the fireworks whenever they do them. It's crazy.
And people are flying in from all over the world to do this. And
they can keep doing it.
It's worth it. Yeah, it absolutely is worth it. This is a park that has become a must-do. I've seen people who have said that this is their favorite Universal park. This is one of their favorite parks in the entire world. And I completely get it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So come out here to Epic Universe. Let us know what your favorite attractions are in the park. And of course, make sure to stay tuned for more here at Coaster Studios. And we'll see you next time.